A bit, avoid a bit. Harun! Long shot. I don't know if you've got a camera. Who's got the bag? He's going to take another camera. There's a camera they can take. Okay? Ready? Okay. We haven't had a conversation, my friend, but I saw you talking with another Muslim brother here.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know his name.
Okay.
I was having a conversation with two of the guys over there.
Okay, fine. Okay, no problem. And you told me your name is Luke, is that right?
That's correct.
Luke. Okay, Luke, and you're a Christian yourself?
I'm not a Christian, no.
No, okay. Do you believe in God?
No.
Okay, you're an atheist.
Yes.
Okay, you're an atheist. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll give you 4 pieces of evidence that there is a God.
Right.
And then you can tell me whether that makes sense or not. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay. And what do you do, Luke? Are you working, studying, looking for work?
Full-time working.
You're full-time working. What do you work as?
I work in transport sector.
Okay, work in the transport sector. Brilliant. Okay. And okay, you're from Britain. You've lived in Britain all your life.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. British.
Yes,
English.
British born native, yeah. Born in Birmingham, raised in Birmingham, yeah.
Okay, from Birmingham. You're British through and through. Okay, fine. And Luke, your name is okay, Luke. Right, and you work for the transport. Okay. Okay. What I would suggest to you. Okay, I noticed you were talking with someone. You had some questions about Islam.
Yeah.
Do you want to raise those first, or do you want me to prove that God exists first to you? What would you prefer?
Well, there's no scientific proof that God does exist. If you took these proofs that you're going to bring up to any scientist in the world, you'd be asked to provide objective empirical evidence for your claims. You won't be able to. Therefore, it's not deemed a scientific fact or scientifically verifiable. So all religion has, all the Abrahamic religions are a series of baseless, unverified claims. What was your other question? What were my questions?
No, you have some. I think I saw you speaking with someone. You had some questions about Islam,
Yes.
or maybe criticisms of Islam.
Yeah.
Which that's not a problem for us. We can answer them, inshallah, God willing. Mm-hmm. But so, do you want me to answer those questions, or do you want me to? Shall I prove to you God exists first? Because that might be more powerful first.
I'm not really interested in that. Obviously, you think God exists. You think God exists because you've been either indoctrinated or raised or brought up in the Islamic culture. That's fine, you're entitled to that. My questions to your colleagues over there were more on the specific claims of the Quran, directly whether the Quran, it claims to be infallible, so I was asking whether they believe that to be true, that the Quran is in fact infallible. And my second question was relating to whether Muhammad is the perfect example of a man, and then I went through things which I deem to be imperfect, such as Muhammad's paedophilia, married a 6-year-old, had sex with her age 9. 9-year-olds can't consent, so that would make him a rapist as well. Then we've got the murder, he's on record murdering. He took sex slaves, he killed the males in tribes, then raped their wives the same night of the conquest. He's a slave trader, and he basically spread Islam via the sword. So my questions to your colleagues were whether they believe all those actions which are absolutely abhorrent and immoral, whether they deem them to be a perfect example to mankind.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Before I answer these questions, I think it'd be good if I can give you some evidence there is a God first.
Okay.
Okay, yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
And then you can tell me if it makes sense or not.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to these questions. It's not a problem, I can answer all of these questions, it's not a problem. And I would say yes, Prophet Muhammad is the perfect example for us to follow. I would suggest that.
Okay.
And perfect example for mankind.
Even given what I've just listed, which is verified in the biography of Muhammad by Ibn Ishaq.
Okay. Yes, even though some of the things you mentioned there, in spite of the things you've mentioned there, yes, I think he's the perfect example for us to follow, and I'll tell you why. Okay, let me give you some evidence there is a God first.
Okay.
Have you always been an atheist, Luke, or did you become an atheist?
Once I had the brain power to decide for myself, about 8 years old, I worked out that religion, well, to me it's a question of, religion is a separate thing from the question of whether there's a God or not. In fact, I'd like you to define to me what you think God is, first of all.
That's a very, very good question. Come forward, my friend. Okay. God, from a Muslim point of view, knows everything, sees everything, hears everything. He's got no beginning, he's got no end.
Right.
God defines himself in just 4 sentences in one of the chapters of the Quran.
Yes.
God says, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say he is God who is one.
Yes.
Absolute one and unique. Allahu samad. Samad means everything depends on God and he depends on no one and nothing.
Right.
So everything, so it depends on God, which means nothing can exist without God, and he can exist without anything.
Yes.
Okay, that's God. Lam yalid wa lam yulad, he begetteth not, nor was he begotten. He's got no parents, he's got no children, he's got no lineage.
Yes.
Okay. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad, and there is nothing comparable to him. This is how God describes himself in the Quran. Okay. In another verse, God says that there is nothing whatsoever like him.
Yes.
God said there's nothing whatsoever like him. And there are other verses describe his power as well. But essentially he's perfect in all respects.
Right.
And he's got no, he's not male or female. He's unique and all-knowing, all-seeing, all-wise, all-hearing, almighty in one word, if that makes sense. The creator of everything. Sure. Everything apart from him is a created thing, which he has created out of nothingness.
Right.
At the beginning there was God, the creator, Allah we say of course, and there was nothing with him whatsoever. Prophet Muhammad tells us. And he created everything from nothingness. And he creates simply by saying be, kun, fayakun, and it comes into being. He says be and it comes into being. That's how God creates. And he's created us for a purpose, and to tell us what that purpose is, he has sent many messengers and prophets. Okay. Anyway, let's go. Is that enough description about God?
It sounds entirely consistent with the Abrahamic claims of what God is. Just to get extra clarification, you believe this God is an interventionist God that picks sides and has particular interest in certain geographical areas, i.e. Palestine and the Middle East and Israel.
Okay. Do we believe in interventionist God? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Muslims do believe in intervention gods. We don't believe in a God who's made everything and is just sitting back or standing back and watching what's going on, as some religions believe. But we believe that nothing can happen without his will and his permission.
Yes.
Everything is by his will and permission. So yes, very much an interventionist God. Everything that happens to us on this earth is either a test or a punishment from God.
Right.
These are the two main groups. These two main groups of test and punishment are subdivided into other reasons. For example, it could be a way of God purifying us. It could be things that we have done with our hands, a consequence of our things that happen because consequence of what we've done with our hands, and so on. So these are subgroups. But the two main groups, test and punishment.
Okay.
And yes, God is very much an interventionist God.
Right.
You said it's an Abrahamic concept of God. Yes, it is absolutely an Abrahamic concept of God, but it's not necessarily a Christian concept of God. But Christian concept of God, although Christianity claims to be purely monotheistic and Unitarian, the reality is because they believe that Jesus is. Sorry, one second. Sorry, we're just filming. Okay. Because we believe that because Christianity believes that Jesus is God incarnate, God in the flesh, God who became a man, then they're really talking about there's God the Father, and then there's another God called God the Son, and there's another God called the Holy Spirit. So although they say they're monotheistic and Unitarian, in reality it's a little bit more complicated than pure monotheism, I would suggest.
Okay, that's all by the by for me, really.
Of course,
I'm not
by
Christian. I believe Christianity, there's zero evidence to support Christian claims, same as there is zero evidence to support Islamic or Judaism
Okay, let's give you some evidence there's a God now.
Yeah.
Okay. There are really 4 pieces of evidence, Luke, that there is a God.
Yes.
In common language you could say 4 proofs. First one is called cosmological argument, or cause and effect.
Okay.
Everything that begins to exist must have a cause.
Yeah.
Nothing goes back forever. And
Right.
if things have a beginning, if the universe had a beginning, the Big Bang Theory,
Yes.
then something or someone must have caused it to happen. We would, of course, say, as believers in God, that God made everything happen.
Yeah.
Without God, nothing would start.
Right.
Your natural question would be, who made God happen? Who created God? Who started God?
Yes.
And what we would say is, God is outside this universe. Within this universe, you have a space-time continuum. If the creator is outside this universe, he's outside the space-time continuum, which means that he's not limited by space and time.
Yes.
And space and time are his creations as well.
Right.
He may be outside time altogether. He's definitely outside our time frame.
Yes.
He may be outside time altogether. So
Okay.
he doesn't need a cause. That's what I would suggest.
Right.
I'm going to go on to the design, the second argument now. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
Continue.
Yep. Second piece of evidence I would suggest, second argument, is called the teleological or teleological argument, which is saying that the complexity of the design of the universe points to intelligence in the design, and it shows a fine-tuning in the design.
Yeah.
And the fine-tuning points to an intelligent creator who has designed it and fine-tuned the universe. I'll give you one piece of statistics here. The universe is a low entropy universe. Have you heard of what entropy is?
I've heard of the term, yes.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? It's one of the laws of thermodynamics.
Entropy is like a field, isn't it? A
No,
class.
no. Entropy is the degree of disorder of particles. With time, disorder increases.
Yeah.
This is one of the rules of thermodynamics. And when the universe started, the universe was in a highly, although it was a big bang,
Yes.
started with, from a singularity,
Right.
it was in a highly ordered state, the universe.
Right.
So therefore it was a low entropy universe.
Okay.
Professor Roger Penrose, who's Professor of Mathematics at the University of Oxford,
Yes.
one of the top universities in the world, of course, he has worked out the probability of the universe being like this by chance.
Okay.
And the probability is, it's 10 to the power of 10. You know what that means? 10,
Very low probability.
Yeah, it's 10 to the power of 10, which means 10 times 10 times.
Yes.
All of this in brackets
Yeah.
to the power of 123 to 1.
Okay.
So it's an incredibly small chance
Right.
that the universe would be like this by chance.
Right.
For example,
Therefore God did it.
No, I'm not saying therefore
This
God.
is a God of the gaps fallacy.
Okay, it's God.
I'm sure you're aware of that.
Of course, I am aware of God of the galaxy. No, I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the probability of the universe being like this is so small